Hey guys, this is Doug again with fellowshipofthemartyrs.com. It's about midnight on Friday, December 14th, just a little after midnight, so we're into Saturday now. It occurs to me, I've never really done a video about Christmas. Some of you watching this video are not Christians and are irritated with nativity scenes and whatever. Some of you are Christians that have always grown up in the church, like nativity scenes, and are irritated when people say Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas because they're trying to take the Christ out of Christmas. Some of you watching are people that see through the traditions of man, object to syncretism, know that Jesus was not born on December 25th, and are irritated by Christmas because it actually has nothing at all to do with Jesus, is a distraction and an effort at Christianizing a pagan holiday, and you want no part of it. So we kind of go full circle. I want to try and tell you where I land on this. Not that where I land personally matters particularly, but it is. I've spent a lot of time looking at how we came to where we are and Santa Claus and everything else. And so going back about, I don't know, 10 or 12 years, I really objected to the commercialization of Christmas. And when I had little kids, we tried to tell the grandmas and grandpas to get them like one present, not to make us bring a trailer when we went to grandma and grandpa's so we could haul all the stuff back. That wasn't the point of Christmas, and could we please focus on Jesus? When I started hearing God better, and asking him about, okay, what's yours and what's not? Christmas tree, Santa Claus, reindeer, elves, all bad. So now, not like Halloween bad, which is just inexcusably totally Satan's holiday. I guess I'm not opposed if somebody wanted to have a birthday party for Jesus, except it's not in the Bible, and he never really says that he wants it celebrated, and it's totally fabricated. And most likely, he was born closer to September. In fact, there's a really good video online called The Star. I think I'll put a link down in the description here, where we actually, this guy astronomically going back with computers recreating where all the stars were shows that there was an actual star that moved and that parked itself right over Bethlehem. And we know exactly when that happened astronomically, so we can pinpoint and know that the calendars are off and know that it didn't happen December 25th. Anyway, and by the way, the three wise men and magi doesn't actually say there were three, but all of that is like not at the birth. That's like much later, right before the persecution started. Anyway, so what the Catholics did is what is called syncretism. 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 Look it up. And what they did is try to syncretize. It's kind of like synchronize, but different. They took a pagan holiday that everybody was worshiping, like All Hallows Eve, like Halloween, and added All Hallows Eve, just kind of moved their date to that and kind of tried to take over the festival and Christianize the festival. So we end up with these hybrid, disgusting things like Mardi Gras during the Passion Week of Christ, which is kind of like, let's like blow the doors off bad behavior right before we have to eat fish or something. So, and fast a little bit. And so you end up with this mixture Um, and they didn't seem to mind. The Catholics didn't mind because at least they sort of tried to kind of take over what was already there. I grew up in Mexico, where the Catholicism there is very different than the Catholicism in the United States. Catholicism in Mexico is very woven into uh, native traditions and superstitions and all kinds of stuff. And they were fairly used to the Mayas or the Aztecs or the Toltecs or somebody beating up on you, taking over your tribe and saying, okay, now you're going to worship, you know, this guy as the for the harvest, and you're going to worship this guy for the rain, and we're going to pray to this guy for fertility. All right, whatever. So you just change the name to, whoever the new guy is. And so then the Catholics come. They got horses, they got cannons, there's prophecy kind of predicting these man-horse things, and then they show up, this guy on a horse, they've never seen that before. So they welcome them in, they take over and say, okay, now you're going to worship Saint this guy for fertility, you're going to worship Saint this guy for agriculture, you're going to worship Saint this guy if you drive a taxi. Like, okay, whatever, fine. But it's still woven in with all kinds of pagan stuff. Like the Day of the Dead in Mexico is just really scary. I mean, they go out and have a picnic on grandma's grave and pour a bottle of tequila out on the dirt, and it's very demonic. And not at all about Jesus, and not at all. In most every cathedral in every little town you would go to, there's this big gold-crusted cathedral that took 300 years to build on the backs of peasants, and up front is a great big Virgin of Guadalupe, and somewhere in the back off to the side is a dead Jesus mannequin in a coffin, in a glass coffin. And everything's about the Virgin Mary, and he's an afterthought. And usually not even a crucifix up front with Jesus on it, usually just a big old Virgin Mary, and not even a Virgin Mary holding a baby, just a flat-up big old Virgin Mary. Anyway, so yeah, you go insulting the Virgin of Guadalupe, man. You get in a big fight with a bunch of folks. They don't want that, but they need a lot of respect for Jesus. Everything's to the Virgin, and it's twisted. It's all twisted. Anyway, as it relates to Christmas, it has just become a cartoon. Satan has gotten the point so twisted up. It can't really even be about the birth of Jesus. It's not honest to say he was born in December. It's not even honest to say that we need to celebrate his birthday. Okay, fine. Family gets around, reads the genealogy of Jesus and the Christmas story, and okay, that's nice. And family time, love one another. Okay, so the last few years, we've had a dinner on Christmas for sort of the same reason we have a dinner on Thanksgiving, that people kill themselves if they aren't around family. It's a time of year when they're programmed to be lonely if they don't have something. We don't participate with like a city Christmas tree, gifts to families and stuff like that. But we do give out coats and try to take care of folks, and which we do all year round anyway. Well, not coats necessarily all year, but we take care of folks all the time. I don't particularly feel like there should be a spike of gift giving and loving on people and caring for one another at Christmas. It should pretty well be a standard thing all year round. And anyway, but I want to show grace and have mercy on folks that are at different stages. We have had here within the 40 or 50 or however many people live with us at any given moment. We had a couple that was here with 3 little kids, and they're 2, 4, and 5 or something like that. And they put up a little Christmas tree in the basement where they lived in one of the houses, and the grandparents were sending gifts anyway, and they hadn't really weaned the kids off of it. They didn't tell them about Santa Claus and elves and stuff. But um, they were, as parents, trying to decide how best to sort of break the news to their kids and sort of change traditions and stuff like that. We have some that give gifts as part of Hanukkah because they were sort of in the Messianic Christian movement and want to sort of Jewishize Christmas, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me either because Hanukkah is just as made up as Christmas. We've in the building where we have our food pantry, it used to be the African American school during segregation days. So in that building every year there's a Kwanzaa celebration, which is another made up tradition of man and really has nothing particularly to do with Jesus. I basically come down to so many things have been twisted. Easter predates Christianity by 1,000 years. Oster, look it up. It had nothing to do with Jesus, never did. The Catholics moved Passover to Oster, fertility symbols that had always been a part of it. Bunnies, hams, eggs, continued. It's got nothing to do with Jesus. And then they fixed the schedule so that the evil, wicked Jewish holiday of Passover would never land on the same weekend as Oster. So pretty well, the Protestants follow the Catholic calendar. So we pretty well never celebrate Passover when it's supposed to actually be. And, that one is a lot more important than Christmas when we all know, any scholar will tell you, Jesus was not born December 25th. So, but Passover is not that hard to pinpoint. Anyway, and Pentecost for that matter, which they always celebrate on Sunday, even though it could land anywhere during the week. So, sorry, a little tired here. I want to show grace. I can understand that there's some redemption possible in a season when people are extra aware of Jesus. Maybe people hit their knees and cry out to him at Christmas. Maybe the church is just seeing Frosty the Snowman and have singing Christmas trees with laser light shows and miss the whole point. People are where they are, and they don't know what they don't know. Unfortunately, now that you watch this video, you know, and you're going to be held responsible to research, to look into it, to come to your own conclusions, and to decide if you are going to say the Lord's Prayer, Thy kingdom come, Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Are we going to have Easter bunnies in heaven? Are we going to have Santa Claus? Are we going to lie to our little kids about where the gifts come from? Are we going to have the Tooth Fairy? Are we going to have Halloween? Are we going to have denominations? Or what? So, if you're going to pray the Lord's Prayer in earnest, that the way He does it should line up here, that we should do things in a way that lines up with what we're going to do later, then you're going to have to probably change a whole bunch of stuff about life and church and traditions. Anyway, I'm reluctant to say that anybody that has a Christmas tree is a blaspheming heretic going to hell, whatever. I'm reluctant to say that there could be no redemptive, positive aspect to it, and that nobody gets saved, there's no value, whatever. And I'm certainly not one to force a particular personal doctrine on folks. Despite what's said about me all over the internet, you will find a wide variety of beliefs in the people that are here, and I don't need them to agree with me. and nobody's getting forced to believe anything, or told that if they leave, they're going to hell or any other fool thing. We've had people with Christmas trees. We've had people that hate Christmas trees. We've had people do Hanukkah. We've had people do nothing at all. I tend to lean toward let's just love each other, give gifts, share with each other, talk about Jesus all the time, not just in a punctuated way through a holiday season. And let's not buy into the over-the-top capitalist crazy, I need stuff to make me happy thing. So for us, it pretty well goes with a whimper. Nothing much happens. A little extra hugging, maybe a little extra chocolate, and we'll probably have dinner all together and invite folks from the pantry or whoever to have dinner with us, and whoever's alone and wants someplace to hang out. And because it is a time where people want some fellowship, they feel like maybe they're off work anyway, and whatever, I'm going to accommodate for that, because that's an opportunity to build connections, to fellowship, and to love on folks. But you're not going to really catch me saying Merry Christmas to somebody. And I'm not even likely to say Happy Holidays, because I'm not even sure what any of the holidays are for, or how it glorifies Jesus. So I'm more likely to just say God bless you, like I do all the time, and leave it at that. I know that there's real strong opinions on both sides. We've stood out with signs, at this time of year saying, Jesus or Santa, pick a team, stuff like that. And, I think Santa is a cartoon of God. It's a mocking of, this wise old man with a white beard who might be just a little drunk and might spend too much time with little kids, but he's making a list and he's checking it twice, and he's going to find out who's naughty and nice. And if you're naughty, you'll get a lump of coal. That's pretty much it. You're not eternal hellfire or anything, just a lump of coal. And you'll have to do without an Xbox or a Wii or a Game Boy or something this year. He's got all these little supernatural little helpers who are just cute little elves, and they don't have swords. They're not scary or anything like that. They're just little worker bees in funny shoes. It's all pretty well the way Satan would like people to see God, so that he's harmless and inoffensive, and his angels are cute little imps. And I find it all pretty offensive, frankly. So I don't think Jesus is coming back with a sword out of his mouth riding Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, for example. So whatever he is riding, I'm sure Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is an insulting caricature of that. So anyway, that's all for now. Hope it gives you something to think about. Don't be so quick to just fight with people because they don't say Merry Christmas and they say Happy Holidays instead. I think it's hypocrisy for the Christians to fight and fight and fight for a nativity set in a public area, to fight and fight to keep Christmas about Christ when it never was about Christ at all in the beginning anyway, and has really nothing to do with him. It isn't even his birthday, and he never told us to celebrate it. And I'm not sure how you can untwist this pretzel, but I don't want to play a part in making it any more twisted than it already is. So something to think about. I think if we need to pick our battles, and fighting over whether it says Merry Xmas or Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays is probably not a battle that is worth fighting. So anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for listening. God bless you. In the name of Jesus, amen.